You might have just failed your state emissions test, or maybe you are driving down the road and hearing a weird knocking and pinging sound coming from your engine. That sounds like a bag of marbles is loose under the hood, which is enough to make any car owner nervous. When you see the P041D code pop up on your scanner, it means the exhaust gas recirculation temperature sensor B circuit is reading an electrical value that is way too high. Back in the 1970s, cars used to just waste a lot of unburned fuel and throw it right out the tailpipe into the atmosphere. But nowadays, your engine control module, or EGR, uses the EGR system to catch those hot exhaust gases and send them back through the engine to burn them more completely. The temperature sensor is basically a little resistor that is sensitive to heat, and it tells the computer exactly how hot those gases are so it can adjust the flow of the EGR valve perfectly. When that circuit goes high, the computer gets confused, and the whole system stops working right, which is bad for your fuel economy and the air we breathe. Since this part of the engine is literally handling exhaust gases, it is going to be incredibly hot, so you have to be very careful where you put your hands, even if the engine has been off for a while. The severity of this code is usually medium, because it is mostly about emissions, but you should still fix it sooner than later, because exhaust leaks are bad for your health and can make your engine run rough over time. The most common cause for this code is a huge buildup of soot inside the exhaust, which happens if you use low-quality fuel or if you have not been keeping up with your regular oil changes and maintenance. A great pro tip is to look for black soot stains around the sensor, because that is a classic sign of an exhaust leak in the pipe where the sensor is mounted. If you try to take the sensor out and it feels like it is welded in there, do not just yank on it with all your might, or you will break it off inside the manifold, which is a very expensive mistake to fix. You might need to use a bit of heat from a torch or some good penetrating oil to get it moving. Once you get it out, you can often just clean the thick soot off with some carburetor cleaner and a wire brush to get it working again instead of spending money on a brand new one. When you put it back in, just make sure to use some anti-seize on the threads so it is easier to take out next time, and always check the wiring harness for any signs of melting or heat damage to the insulation.